All right. Well, welcome back to another episode. We have today Gary with Easy Go Junk Removal. So thanks for jumping on. Appreciate you willing to come on here. So how are you doing?
I am doing well, and it's my pleasure, man. It's nice to meet you, and wish you success with your podcast. It sounds exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited. So I think this is a great way to get to know a lot of people like yourself. And so just thought I saw you pop up on a video that I was on last week. And so I thought this guy's got some wisdom. I got to pick his brain a little bit. So,
Oh, well, thanks. I appreciate it. I don't know how deep that wisdom goes, but it is what it is, right?
oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so from my understanding, you've been kind of working for yourself for most of like 30 years or so. So
Yep.
just kind of want to hear what you've been up to for during that time and how you got into junk removal.
Sure. I've actually owned for a little over 30 years. I've owned different businesses. I had a couple of landscaping companies, one in California I built and sold, and then I built a larger one over in Florida, and I was bought out by a very large company, and that was nice. And then, that one was about 15 years old when I sold it, and it was fantastic. The customers, and that's what it comes down to. I think that's part of why you want to interview me is my customer thing, because that is amazing to me, just the relationships that you build along the way. And then I've had an Amazon store that I used to sell just about everything to. Was grandfathered in, and about the only thing I couldn't sell would be drugs. I mean, I just had a store that I could sell anything. And then left that because Amazon likes to eat their own. And what I mean by that is it's literally you're chasing products. And then when that product becomes a fad, it starts. Amazon wants the customer to get the very best price, and it really creates a competition. And pretty soon, the products aren't worth anything, and you don't make anything. And what used to be real easy uh, became more and more difficult. And so I let that store go. I still have a t-shirt business with them, and that's a separate entity, and I do that. And then I was in between and wondering what the heck to do. And I met a guy, well, he was a friend of mine, and he told me, he goes, "Hey, you got to check out this TED Talk. I want you to, I think it's right up your alley." And he was a well-known business guy in the town that I lived in. And I said, "Sure, send me the link." And I don't know, 2 weeks went by, and he goes, "Hey, did you look at that?" And I go, "Nah, I've been busy," and which I wasn't doing anything. I was in between. And he goes, "Man, Gary, you gotta check this out. I just know this is for you." And I go, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah." So literally, this went on for a month. And then he catches up with me, and he goes, "Gary," he goes, "you've got to watch this video, this TED Talk." And I said, "Okay, I will." And he goes, "No, I know you. If you say you will, you won't. But if you promise me you will, you will." And I said, "I promise. I'll watch it, Richard." So I watched it. It was Brian Scudamore with 800 Got Junk. And halfway through it, I'm already looking at demographics. I'm looking at, all the possibilities, and I'm going, "No way. This can't be like this." And the first people I contacted after I knew I wanted to do this thing was Sonoma Strong out in Sonoma County, where was where my first landscaping company was. So I was raised in Sonoma County. I left there, and with that landscaping company, just a side note, I had a dump truck, and I did dump runs all the time, made really good side money, and never connected the two. It would have dwarfed my landscaping company by far. And I just never saw it. So I always smile about that. And knowing how well Sonoma Strong is doing out there, it's kind of cool. So I connected with Matt and Joni, and Joni told me, "Hey, talk to Matt." And so I did. And Matt goes, "Yeah, the numbers are right. This is what I'm making." And this is back when they just got their trailer, their dump trailer, and they were still, fighting, struggling, getting their position in the world. And I go, "Wow, this is something I'm going to do." So I went and bought a trailer. I went and bought a truck. And I knew at that time, though, where I lived in Florida wasn't going to be demographically healthy for me. And so I started mapping out, looking at different places to take this business. And one of the places I've always wanted to live was Arizona. I love this state. And so we started looking at, me and my wife started looking at different places, and we chose the Tucson greater area, and we haven't looked back since.
That's amazing. So help me draw the connection between how you met Matt and Joni. So were you in California at the time or were you still in Florida?
I was in Florida, and I was scouring the internet for information.
Okay.
I understood the demographics, what kind of population I needed. I even did the demographics on where the money is, all that kind of stuff. What are the age groups, and I just started putting things together, and I intuitively knew, because of landscaping, that whatever you charge really depends on where you are. I mean, New York City is going to be very different than Tucson, and Tucson's going to be different than Sonoma. So I already knew that intuitively, because the two landscaping companies actually had very different pricing structures. And so I wasn't really concerned with that, because it will find its equilibrium, and you will be able to make a living. It just all depends on the situations behind, how much dump runs are, et cetera, how much you're paying at the stations and stuff. And so I came up on a video, and who doesn't like Matt Vic?
Yeah,
Who
they're
doesn't
awesome.
like, yeah, who doesn't like Joe, JoJo? And they're just an amazing duel. And so I just gravitated to them, and it was my hometown. And so I contacted them, and like they seem to always do, they just opened their arms and said, "Yeah, anytime you need any help, we'll be happy to help you." I was talking to Paul from Paul Italia, from Forget About a Junk last night, and I was telling him, I don't think anybody has ever had more influence on the junk company besides Got Junk than Matt and Joe. I call myself a Sonoma Strong junk baby, because that's what I am. I'm one of their offsprings, and I have a feeling they have 1,000 of them. And I came up with that last night, but I really believe that we're all Sonoma Strong junk babies, man.
No, myself included, I definitely came across their stuff and a lot of inspiration of information they had. So they're a huge part of why I got started. So
Yep,
that's awesome. So you took the leap of faith and moved to Arizona. You did some market research. Is that right?
yep, I
Okay.
did.
So tell me, so what I've got family actually in Chandler. They live out of there. My brother, he owns a pest control business nationwide, but the headquarters is in Chandler or near there. But tell me, how's the market in Arizona? Like, why did you decide to land there? And because in my mind, it seems for junk removal, it seems kind of competitive. Seems like a lot of people are out there, at least the YouTubers that I've seen or
Sure.
kind of what I've seen. But
So I don't know about anybody else. I don't worry about competitors. I mean, I was in landscaping, man. I was in landscaping in California. So anybody with a pickup truck uh, and a mower is your competitor. And I just don't worry about that. I just always have uh, focused on what I have to offer, what I have uh, to do. If I focus on what people are doing, I'm in the wrong business. Competition isn't a bad thing. In fact, I'm in a very highly competitive market, as you say. If there's one, there's 50 companies, and people have their choices. The good thing is I know customer service better than most, and that's not a brag. It is what I've been made to do my whole life, is to give what the customer needs with a smile and a professionalism that can match Got Junk and Junk King or any other. And so I'm not worried about the guy who's pulling a trailer. Um, I said this the other night, and I truly believe this, and that is, I'm not looking for Got Junk or junk removal in general piece of the pie. I am creating my own pie. This is where Matt and Joe have everything completely right. And that is brand yourself. Branding, branding, branding. Easy Go Junk Removal is a brand under its own. And it gets more secure every day. And so that's where my focus is, dude, because otherwise I'm worried about what you're doing. And if I'm looking over there, I'm not looking at what I'm supposed to be doing. If I've got time on my hands, I need to fill it with something positive, not whether you're on my back. You're on my back. So what? You're finding your niche. I'm good with it.
That's amazing. And so that's kind of what I wanted to touch on is that I looked and you have 700 plus reviews, which is amazing. And so I just want to kind of know that you got to be doing something right. I kind of want to know what you're doing with the customer to get that review and to get them on your team and to make them want to come back for more down the road.
Yeah. Well, this is where have you ever called your competition?
At the beginning,
Okay.
yeah.
Everybody should call your competition. I have.
Hmm.
And I do it from a separate phone that doesn't tag me as a person. And I'd say 90%, hello,
Hmm.
90%. What can I do for you? Yeah. Okay. Well, that's not how you answer a phone, man.
Right.
So the moment that you interact with a customer is the moment that they make a decision whether or not they're going to keep talking to you and whether or not they're going to invite you into their abode, right?
Hmm.
And this is something that's missed with a lot of people. They are inviting you to their house where they live, where all their valuables are, where everything is everything to them. And if you don't sound right, I'm sorry, for the right monies, people, you're not getting through the gate, right?
Hmm.
So immediately, hi, this is Easy Go Junk Removal. How can I help you? It is professional, it's friendly, it's engaging. It's like, I want to help this person because I do. I already know they need junk removal. They've called me. So
Right.
that's the first. Yeah.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Well, and the second thing is when you show up, you do want to connect with these people. And I always show up and it's natural for me. It's non BS. It's not like I'm going to blow smoke up somebody's skirt or anything like that. I look around and, man, if they got a beautiful yard, I'm going to say it. If they've got some kind of piece of art or a fountain, man, that is really nice. It's an icebreaker. It's natural. It's what people should do. And they'll turn around and go, wow, thank you. I got that from wherever, and yeah, we really enjoy it. And they'll turn around, inevitably turn around and say, hey, that's a nice truck. Or now we're talking human to human. And I got my foot in the door without putting it in while they're slamming it. They've opened it up and they liked me. And you
Mhm.
want to be likable. And that's something that I don't know if you can teach that or not, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I would say that's kind of a lesson learned for me is that because I've been operating almost 2 years, and so I sent a first SMS text campaign. I just for the new year, I just gave everybody a heads up, and so had I worked on every single customer to try to get to know them, try to be their best friend or build rapport that way, I think I would have had a lot more response probably to that text. That's something I'm trying to work on, but make sure every customer gets the best service possible that way.
Yeah. And I'm always fast with my card. I always give a card when I greet people at their door. Hi, I'm Gary. I always give them my name too. I don't know, hey, I'm here to pick up junk, which people do. I mean,
Hmm.
and I don't understand that, but God bless them and whatever. Me, I want them to know who I am. I want to leave a lasting impression of not only Gary Noland, but Easy Go Junk Removal. I want to
Hmm.
be synonymous with that company and me. We're one. And my wife is one with it. And when we show up, she brings a whole nother dynamic This is the power of what you see with Matt and Joni. This is the power that you see with Paul and his girl Nicole. And you just go Garrett and Megan, and you can just go right down the road. These companies like mine, we depend on our wives, and they bring in a whole nother dynamic that maybe the wife or the husband they connect with that I'm not connecting with. It's pretty cool.
It's amazing. So shifting gears a little bit. So I want to know this customer service experience that you have in the reviews. So have you seen, because how long have you been doing in the business so far?
At the end of this month, we will finish our fourth year.
Fourth year.
Yeah.
So between from when you started to now, have because of what you've done, the work you've put in, have you seen a lot more in your marketing, the like repeat business or referrals or kind of shifting gears a little bit to marketing? What's kind of what have you noticed that has helped you the most?
So the repeat customers are off the chain. The relationships that you build uh, are the most important thing. I am an analog man. I just interviewed Lewis Vandervolk, and he's this digital warrior, man. He's not my SEO guy, but he is the coolest dude. I really appreciate him and admire him, and because he sees business in this digital thing, right? I still believe that the most hard to it's hard for some people to believe, because especially if you're born into this world of everything's digital, and we just funnel everything, and this is how we do business now. I believe that the most underestimated thing that is out there is this meet and greet and look at people in the eyes, shake their hand, and actually breathe the same air as they do. And there's a bonding that happens, and I can't explain it. We just did a massive hoarder clean out. It was big, and it came from a place that a woman who knew somebody whose parents passed that needed this job, who we donate stuff to for people who are trying to make their life better, who have made really poor decisions. And so we donate stuff to her constantly, and she calls us up. It's a connection, it's a relationship that we built. That is the most powerful thing. It's who we know. And it's really difficult to do that in a digital world, is to get yourself known, and most people do that wrong. And I'm learning that what you post on Facebook, what you post on YouTube, what you're posting on GMB is really important if it doesn't have a human quality to it. And you got to have this human quality, and that's the thing that I do well.
So would you say there's a balance between digital and like in person, or do you like 50/50, or what would you say for you works best for you?
Well, for me, it's probably more like 70/30, because I gravitate to this. I have no problem going to the chamber and meeting, greeting, and being a part of that. I have no problem being part of a business group, and where you get referrals and things like that, and just meeting people at festivals. And I, I, it's natural for me. I like people, and so it's really, really natural. The other stuff, I have to help. I have to have help, because it doesn't come natural. I'm 65 years old, man. So it doesn't come like, man, I was born into this. No, man, that all came in, you know, kind of after, the phones have been around when I think I turned 34, 30, 36 years old or something. And they were in suitcases. And I mean, this is the world. It's moving fast, right?
Right. So what I want to know is when you first got started to get right out up, get your name known, what did you do for marketing, or did you lean on your strength of just shaking your people's hands and networking, or did you run run ads or posts, or what kind of did you
Sure.
focus on to get get up and running?
Gotcha. Well, I did a couple of things. First of all, I got a job, and it was at night, and I worked at Amazon of all places.
Hmm.
So instead of being the seller, I was the guy unloading 45-foot trucks, and absolutely loved the physicality of it. And that was at night. And I come home and I'd sleep 2 hours, and I'd get up and I create my Facebook because this was brand new.
Hmm.
So I created my Facebook profile. I created a new GMB because back then it was GMB, and now it's a Google Business profile. But created that and started funneling photos and things like that. And then I hired a guy named Matt Moses, who I absolutely love and adore, of Young Spider, who put together my website and took care of my SEO. And he just knows his stuff really well because I don't know that. And so I'm not even going to, I tried to put together a website using WordPress and all of that. And the thing that I built was monstrous, man. As I say, go, okay, man, I wouldn't want to even go there, you know. So he built something that was quite unique and powerful. And so he got me bleeding into Tucson within months organically. And of course, this is the battle because the map pack is what rules. So I'm sitting there, number four, 20, 25 miles out of Tucson organically, where my website is right there. But that map pack, that's tough to do. And so, I've been thinking of, hey, maybe I rent an office or a space over there and move my GMB over there because would make it would make me twice as busy as I am now. But I'm in a retirement community and they've been really good to me and I don't want to give up this space at the same time. So I'm in that area. So that's what I've done is I do what I can do on the meet and greets, and then I hire out when I can't literally do what I need to do on the other stuff because you'll for me it would be a waste of time.
Right. So would you say uh, has the trends of starting out to now kind of up and down, or is there are you do you experience a seasonality in Arizona like others do with with snow? Like right now it's February, so.
Yeah, yeah, we do. We have regular season and we have snowbird season. The great thing about Florida and uh, Arizona is you've got people that live in your area that go to our places and and they hunker down during the winter here. They've got
Hmm.
second places and they come here and they want stuff moved and hauled. They're not like these big jobs, but they keep us busy and they
Hmm.
keep us where we don't get real thin in the wintertime. I still put back though for a rainy day. That's natural for me in business is I don't ever want to be that guy who has a blown truck that can't put a new motor into it. And so from day one, I immediately started putting money back. I put money back for taxes. You're damn sure I'm going to put money back for. Oh, that's a bad day.
Right. And last question.
Sure.
So it sounds like you're gonna do this for a couple more years. So what are you trying to do to prep your business to hand off? And is there a certain goal in mind that you have before you do that?
Yeah, I just started. Another guy is Andrew Thompson. I just about 3, 4 months ago, maybe 4 months ago, signed up for his autopilot with his CRM. I have to backtrack because I do everything in a book, a
Hmm.
schedule book. So I'm going to be actually my wife will be doing it because she's really good at that stuff, backtracking all that information so I can do what you're talking about is doing these blasts, through text and say, hey, it's spring. Are you looking to clean out? Hey, we got a 10% off or whatever it is. And so get that really packed because we're talking thousands of customers. We're not talking hundreds anymore. We're talking thousands. And those need to be in a vehicle that someone who buys this company can also tap in, not only for repeat customers, but they have a database of potential, customers that will keep on giving. And then So I'm also looking at just growing a little bit more, getting the right team rolling so people can step in and run this thing. And like I was telling you before the podcast started, my goal is to hand this off to somebody who wants to take it to a complete different level. And they don't have to go through the rigmarole of making a name. This already has a name, and this it's well done. We're number in 4 years, we're number three in the county as far as reviews. The closest one to me is 250 away. And those people have been around for years and years as well. And this is my goal, is to be up over 1,000 by the time I sell this. And I mean, well over 1,000. I want, I want to hand this off to somebody who isn't going to worry about it producing for them. I want it to be a rock solid company.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's kind of what I've been from the beginning, just trying to figure out if this were ever to be handed off, like try to make it as smooth as possible in every area. So that's pretty awesome. So,
Yeah,
well, hey,
I was able to sell a couple of other businesses, and I do have that insight, and it's not as difficult as some people say it is. I you just got to build the right machine.
for sure. Well, that's awesome. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but thank you so much for jumping on,
I
and
appreciate it.
best of luck on the rest of this year. And yeah,
You too,
appreciate.
actually. Yeah, snow day is the day that you do all those, seed plantings. So
Yes. Oh yeah. Been responding to a lot of messages and kind of get caught up. So,
cool. Yeah, I wish you success, man.
all right. Well, appreciate it. Have a good one.
Yes, sir. You take care.
All right.